Good morning and welcome. This is Dawn on VOS TV. My name is Dan Nessie Eastmaker. It's good to have you with us on the show again this morning. We have newspaper reviews, 3 national dailies with us: the Nigerian Tribune, The Nation, and The Vanguard. And of course, with us in the studio again, we have Shuyi Ayodele of the Nigerian Tribune. Good morning, Shuyi.
Good morning, Dan.
It's good to have you with us here again this morning.
My pleasure.
All right, let's jump right into it as fast as possible. Starting up with the Nigerian Tribune, the screamer we have: governors say agreement reached. Implementation set for May. This is based on the judicial autonomy, where we had members of the Nigerian Bar Association yesterday across the 36 states have, would I say, a march to all the state government houses in the states. And we can see boldly here members of the NBA from Lagos, Ikeja branch, protesting to demand full implementation of financial autonomy of the judiciary in Lagos. Now, the rider to that major screamer is autonomy for judiciary non-negotiable. Senate tells governors. Another rider, lawyers in solidarity protest nationwide. And finally, federal government meets striking judicial workers today, which is Tuesday. Quite an interesting one. It may begin at the end of May.
Well, interesting one, like you said, fine, but Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, the chairman of the Governors Forum, who spoke on behalf of the governors, should not expect us to clap for him. Because like the workers said, this thing is not negotiable. It's not even not that it's probably to begin to tell us whether they've reached agreement or not. He represents an arm of government, the executive arm. It's an independent arm. Yes. The judiciary is an independent arm. The legislation is also an independent arm. So it's not issue law. And we are doing them a favor. They are not, the governors are not doing the judiciary any favor by granting them this autonomy. It's automatic. It's constitutional. It's something that nobody should even negotiate. We shouldn't be talking about it because of the way we are wired in this country. That's why they are getting to this level. Telling you, we shouldn't be talking about it. May even. It's May
at the end of May.
At the end of May. So if it doesn't happen at the end of May, well, look, we shouldn't be talking this way. I mean, Nigeria should have lived all this kind of attitude where the governors are behaving as if they are emperors. They are not emperors. They are elected people to serve a purpose. And so it shouldn't be. Yeah, people have been talking about the issue of accountability, granting them the autonomy, and I keep on asking, who is putting the judiciary, the executive? Who is monitoring them? Who is monitoring what they are doing? Grant this way. This thing is constitutional. Give them their votes. Let them run their own affairs the way they like. Look at what the Calabar lawyer said the other day. That it is wrong for executive governors to be giving cars to judges. And you know, the whole thing will come to the point that the man who takes care of you, the man who attends to your welfare, is the man you want to listen to.
Yes.
So, but if these people are autonomous, they have their own flow, they have their own impress, they have their own money to run their own affairs, you begin to see the semblance of sanity in the society. Because
I think I've previously been at certain assizes where the courts hold to start the new judicial year, and most of the time they always, it's more like they're pleading.
I think this autonomy should even go beyond financial autonomy. It should go up to the level of allowing the process, the judicial process, to determine who becomes the chief judge. You don't need a governor to come and submit the name of the chief judge to the House of Assembly or to the General Judicial Council and the rest.
And the NJC recommends to the governor.
The governor. But they are manipulating it now. Wike that fought the other time when he came to power and corrected the anomaly created by his predecessor in office. He's almost doing the same thing. in Cross River State, the governor there for how many months kept on appointing acting chief judge until about a month ago when he appointed the current chief judge of the state. All these things shouldn't be. So the autonomy should even go beyond financial autonomy. It should be autonomy, total, complete, absolute one. That they are not in any way tied to the apron strings of the governors.
And I think I remember clearly there was a while ago the president actually gave an executive order, and some lawyers actually came out to say that the president does not have the right to tell the governors how to spend.
That is where the problem lies. Executive order is not a law on its own. It's just a pronouncement of the president to say this thing is in the constitution. Please go ahead and implement it. He didn't create any law. what executive order 10 we are talking about of
Yes.
this financial
Autonomy for judiciary.
It's not a law. What the president said, or what he's trying to say by that, is that the laws are there. That this thing, go ahead and implement it. And he set a time lag for it. So I don't know what these lawyers are. Okay, is it not the same lawyers that are carrying placards all over? This kind of confusion you don't. And by the way, you know that the lawyers that protested in Benin yesterday were not allowed to enter the government house. So you are aware of that?
Yeah.
Oh, they were chased away. And they came to press center to start brain grammar. It's part of the things we are talking about. But we elected governors and the rest. They are not gods. They are not emperors. They are not absolute monarchs. They are representatives of the people. So I don't understand why a governor of a state will refuse to receive citizens of the state coming to air their grievances over certain issues. But like we said, and I will keep on saying, this is how we are wired in Nigeria, and we are used to it.
All right, let's see what happens towards the end of May. The end of May is like roughly a month and some days away.
Yeah, when you say end of May, it just reminds me of a man owing a debt. And they said pay, you say I will pay by the end of the month. The end of the month is around the corner. So, but now the question is this: if at the end of May, or by and this thing is not implemented, what happens again? We have another round of strike. Is that what we are saying? You know how many accused persons are languishing in detention, police detention, because there are no cost to take them to. And you know, when people take, especially our leaders, when they take decisions, they should also be able to sit down and think about the multiplying effect of their decisions on the people. You are arrested now for any crime, that maybe whatever you do, ordinarily within 24 40 hours you are supposed to be taken off, and the costs are not there. So the police keeps you, the police will keep you in detention, and all over the country like that. There are people that before this strike started, they already filed the application for their bills and the rest, and they were hoping that simple application, they moved, will be granted, but they are still in detention and the rest. Those are the effects, and I think if with the implementation of this thing by May, we'll be able to get.
All right, let's see what happens, and also we'll be looking at the reactions from Jusun on this. Let's quickly move from that now to another matter on insecurity in the front page of the Tribune. 70% of illegal weapons in West Africa domiciled in Nigeria, says a UN agency right there. Details can be found on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. The interesting one is 70% of illegal weapons are domiciled in Nigeria, in the whole, as in from the whole of West Africa.
That was from Senator Ubasani, while briefing the National Assembly about the outcome of his committee and everything. It's not a surprise. The level of violence in this country will give you an idea that this figure is even low. I'm telling you, it's every day. It's an everyday occurrence. How do you really get to these illegal weapons? The guys you gather together during the elections, the so-called political thugs that will give guns to, how many of those guns
you take back?
Did you take back from them? That's number one. Number two, how did they even get to this country? Your custom, the immigration, the police, and everything. You know, it's when I read this report and everything, I said, oh, it's expected, because if we don't have this number of illegal arms and ammunition in this country, the level of violence in this country wouldn't have been like this. Gun is not like what do you call it now? Common pure water that you can buy anyway. Everybody carries. You are driving your street. Yes. You hit a guy's car. He comes out and he pulls out a pistol. Ordinary, what do you call it?
Within the city.
Within the city. And it threatens you, and then he puts it back because it belongs to one court or the other. Between December and January, or even up to February in this city, we knew what happened now. Killings were picking dead bodies like anything on the street.
And the complaint now, a lot of complaints being filed. We are seeing, considering the fact now that the vigilantes are allowed to hold weapons, a lot of people now are not even freely bringing out their weapons, posing to be vigilantes.
Yeah, the vigilante, for me, I'm in support of the assistance of the vigilante.
Yes, but people are now bringing out.
We'll get to that. It will happen. Even when as at the time we didn't have vigilantes, these guys were bringing it up. It's even an opportunity for them now to bring it out because they can pose as vigilantes and everything. But the tendency that they're going to be picked up, the tendency that they're going to be detected is very high now because we have the vigilante. Honestly, these guys are doing, I may not be able to speak for other cities in Nigeria, but what the vigilante group, what those guys are doing in Benin, fantastic job. Fantastic. That's number one. Two, the kind of guns they carry, you see, it's more or less like the Dingo and so on and everything. So there's nothing sophisticated and everything. These guys killing and they are using sophisticated weapons. The ones that attack police stations and they are not using Dingons. So the vigilante, and if every state can copy that, get the vigilantes, whether we like it or not, the crime level in Edo State has dropped drastically. And kudos to the governor, kudos to the guys that are on the street. And you see those guys, they are very polite. I had an experience on Friday, last Friday, in Ring Road here. And the guys came in, the way they handled the matter, fantastic.
But some of them are polite, others are not so.
In the police, okay, for instance, look at what that ASP Rabo did in Lagos yesterday. Now, that's an example of the police now. What happened to that police officer in Lagos? Less than 10 of it will happen to another one. He has killed that other joker that was pushing him around and everything. So in every group and everything, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for me, I speak of what I've seen so far. For the vigilante operating, especially within Benin Metropolis, they'll be fantastic.
All right, let's quickly move now from the Nigerian Tribune to the Nation. Speaking about insecurity now, the screamer we find on the Nation: gunmen kill policemen in multiple attacks in stations. Right after that, buildings, vehicles razed, detainees freed, and it's terrorism, says the federal government. This now basically we're looking at the southeast here, Abia State and Anambra.
Southeast again.
Yes.
Welcome.
I mean, within the space of, this is April, between the space of March and April, a lot of police installations have been attacked.
Now that is where the problem lies. The crisis in the southeast now is a very peculiar one. It's a very unique one. It's like the anger is directed at
the security
agencies. Unlike what is happening in the northeast or the northwest or southwest, where you have felons kidnapping, but these guys are attacking police stations mainly. I think an isolated case of a correctional center being broken into in Imo State the other time. So begin to worry. Who are these guys? What do you want? I begin to read the same kind of understanding that I had when the Niger Delta militants were operating, targeting oil installations and everything. That time we could say they were fighting for economic liberation or resource control or whatever. So the question now is this: these guys attacking police stations in either Anambra or Imo or Abia or anywhere in the southeast, what exactly do they want? That's number one. Then two, IPOB. You know, we mentioned it here last week. If the way the southeast is configured today, and especially the way they are placed in the Nigerian Federation, they need the sympathy of every other person. But how do you now get people to empathize with you when you begin to go this route? So, and I'll keep on saying it, and I'll keep on advising, you keep on hammering it, you keep on stressing it, that these guys, the owners, the leaders of the southeast, must come together and ask their children, what exactly do you want? Look, with the police functioning in the southeast without crisis, now that we are rendering them incapacitated every day, burning down their facilities, vehicles, buildings, killing them, maiming them and everything, before you know it, and then if this trend continues in the next 2 months, the kind of anarchy that you will have in the southeast will be worse than what they experienced during the Civil War. And I think the leaders of that region should be able to be thinking along that. We have fantastic individuals, elder statesmen, people that have paid their dues in this country, that made sacrifices even for the survival of the nation in the southeast. these people should be able to sit down. IPOB, the way they are going, or myself, or whatever, is becoming too dangerous. And you know what they are doing? It's like the leech that says he wants to kill the dog. When the dog dies, how do you survive? The leech lives on the dog. You want to kill the dog. It's a knife that destroys his own pouch. It destroys his own home. So these guys should know that. I don't understand. Because I can't really say exactly what these guys want. If this thing is a reaction to the attack, the area bombing of Eastern Security Network in Olu the other time, I think they've got enough of that. We should put an end to this madness, because this is pure madness. What is happening in the Southeast is no other thing than madness. A group should be able to say this is exactly what we want. As bad and as worse as Boko Haram is, they say they don't want Western education, which is service. It's just another joke. But at least each time they talk, they keep on saying this is. But what do you want? Tell us. What exactly is your grounds against the security agents? It's a terrible thing. So nobody is safe. If police station, they attacked in Anambra State, they attacked the AIG.
Zone 13.
Zone 13. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I don't know, if you ask me 1,001 times, I don't know what these guys really want.
All right, let's move now to the top part of the Nation newspaper this morning. The governor of Rivers State is in the news. He says, allow states to manage resources. Wike tells the federal government. Details of these can be found on page 33 of the Nation. We're back to resource control again.
Wike is not saying anything new. It's been on the table, it's been on the burner. Resource control, true federalism. True federalism, physically and physically. Finance in every aspect. That's exactly what we want. What we'll be clamoring for. The agitation for self-determination all over the place, either by the Southwest, the Yoruba in the Southwest, the Northeast, the Middle Belt, and it's as a result of because we are running a loose federation where everything is in Abuja. Abuja sits down. Okay, the other time now we talked about what do you call it? Under 10 or whatever.
Okay, from the president.
We won't need that if you are running a true federalism. The issue of resource control you are talking about. Yeah, I've been in this Niger Delta since 1999. Anytime I venture out of Benin City and I go to Abuja and I compare to that, the resources are coming from this place. The development in Abuja compared to what you see in Port Harcourt or Benin City or any state capital in the southeast is, you want to ask yourself, why are we like this? So it's not saying anything new. The only problem I have with this is when you give them the resource control, even the little that they have, what are they doing?
But some people argue that this would allow before it was region, but now each state and to a large extent region develop at their own pace.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
For instance, if there are 22 oil wells in Edo State, and all the resources from that oil wells are managed by Edo State will only pay either, what do they call it?
Maybe they might now pay the 13%.
No, they just pay the royalty or tax
to the federal
government. And then we now begin to see development. I keep on saying it. The development you have in, let's say, even Benin City, you cannot compare what we had during the time of Midwestern region to now.
Sure.
In the Southwest, go there. You see Obafemi Awolowo University, you see Cocoa House, you see Liberty Stadium. We even had television before France in the Southwest.
In the Southwest, yeah.
It's as a result of the fact that the Southwest was controlling its resources that time. And the leaders were accountable. I'm telling you. So there's no two-way about it. There's no beating about the bush about it. It is ripe enough for states to control. It shouldn't even be states. I'm a Yoruba man in Edo State. I've lived there for almost 23 years. If peradventure where I have my house, they discover, what do you call it? Oil there, I should be able as a landlord of that land. Because I bought it, I have it.
Because
I should be able to say it and not call the... That you should get to that level.
You should be able to even control the risk, because there's a Latin maxim says whatever is affixed to the land belongs to the land.
God bless you. So you're a lawyer, so you know that. So you should get to that level. So it's not issue of having a big brother in Abuja that anytime at the end of the month come and take, and then they don't have money to give now. Like our governor here alleged, they run to CBN and then begin to print money overnight and the rest. No, Wike is a bit, like I said, the worry is the ones we are even controlling. It's not about
what are we doing
Wike,
now?
they are all the governors. What are we doing with it? But that shouldn't be an excuse for us not to have true federalism in the real sense of it.
All right, let's, because of time, let's move now to the Vanguard. Probably we'll just take one story from the Vanguard. Now, let's look forward to 2023. It's just around the corner, whether we like it or not. In less than 2 years from now, we'll be having elections. And the headline here says 2023, APC, PDP, and others should nominate Igbo candidates for presidency. This is coming from the Ohaneze group. Details can be found on page 8. We've talked about it before, and you have said repeatedly several times that your sympathy is with the Southeast, and if it's possible, the major political parties can say if they are bringing candidates from the South, they should go to the Southeast.
Yeah, this, for me, this is the best statement ever from Ohaneze, honestly, and they have my support 1001% for this. It doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, that we fought civil war for almost 3 years, and 1970 to eclipse period, that's about 51 years. 51 years after, we still not forgiving these guys. And it's not that they just went into war on their own. The reasons, the situation, the circumstances that led to the civil war were germane enough for anybody to go into war for their liberation. So, and I would be the happiest man if all the political parties will come together to say, we are zoning the presidency for 2023 to the South, and we are not zoning it to the South, we are zoning it to the Southeast. It will achieve one thing. It will give them that sense of belonging, that in the federation you call Nigeria, they have a stake. But as it stands today, the Southeast, don't let us deceive ourselves, they have no stake in this federation, and that is why the agitation to break away, the agitation for self-determination is higher at that level. Come to think of it, where are they in the scheme of things, structurally, politically? Where is the Southeast? They remain marginalized, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. So it will be good, but we are not politicians, Dan. We are just
we're just here to analyze and look at things.
But if they can achieve this and get to this level, fantastic.
Let's see definitely what will be happening in the next couple of months, because in less than 24 months we already know who is the president already. And it will be a quite interesting one. So in the next couple of months, we get to know where the political parties are going to be zoning their candidacy to. But it's been quite an interesting one, looking through 3 national dailies, the Tribune, the Nation, and the Vanguard this morning. Thank you very much, Shi, for joining us. It's always a pleasure and an interesting conversation with you right here on the Newspaper Review.
Thank you.
It's been done on VOS TV. Tomorrow is another day. Do well to join us, like our pages on social media, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOS TV News. My name is Dan Nessie Isimeka. Until tomorrow, do have a blessed day.